All right, so we're gonna do another meal. And by another, I mean this is a third video that I fucking did, that I've done today. One of them wasn't of, anyway, it doesn't matter. Bottom line though is that, again, just like the meal I produced earlier, which you guys won't know what meal I produced earlier because this is gonna be a different video. I am going to wing it hard right now. I'm gonna wing it real hard. All right. I'm gonna make some ground beef, and I'm gonna make it effing delicious, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet. At all. When I say ground beef, I mean bison, because ground beef is for the pores. We don't eat that shit around here, you know? We don't do that shit. So I'm going to chop up some onion, some bell pepper, and I'm also gonna I'm gonna saute these up separately, which I'm not gonna bore you guys with that process. I'll do that behind the scenes, you know? I'm gonna get those sauteed first, which we'll come back and we'll take a look at. And I'm also going to get some diced jalapeno peppers, which I have a can of diced jalapeno peppers I showed you guys from the grocery haul, and some rotel that I think I'm going to throw into the mix. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking where this goes. I'm liking where this goes. And then we're going to hit it with some umami. Some umami. I'm thinking I might get a neck tattoo of just umami. At first, I was joking, but now it sounded like a pretty cool idea, actually. I might do that. Or like the one that goes above the eye. I feel like that would be cool. But yeah, I'm gonna do all that, and then I'm gonna come back. All right, we're gonna get this John moving here. So we got our veggies chopped up there. They're a little bit more, of a thicker cut. And that's just my preference. There's no reason why you need to do that whatsoever. I enjoy onion. I'm gonna do a really small amount of oil for this pan because this is getting the beef. Remember, that's gonna be plenty of fat in and of itself. It's 90% bison, so that's gonna render out a lot of fat on its own. Where's my top? All right, we'll go in with all this. We'll get that going real nice like. This will come over here. We gotta get this bison going. And we're gonna get cleaned up a little bit. All right, now I honestly, the one thing I like with this bison and or beef is I'm gonna let this sit for a minute on its side and really like caramelize on one side or sear on one side to really build a little bit of texture and a little bit more flavor there. I don't know if any of that's a real thing, but I like it that way. I'm gonna wash up and then come back for the rest of it. All right, so we let this sit for a good bit here. And again, I was talking about letting it caramelize or brown or sear on one side, whatever you want to talk about. I think that is sexy as fuck. And it adds a little bit of additional flavor there. But again, I don't know if that's actually true or not. I think that's true. I'm pretty sure I've seen that on Food Network. Pretty sure I have. So I'm gonna let this sear on the other side now. And then I'm gonna come back, I'll break that bitch up a little bit and I'll show you what we're seasoning it with. All right. I got some rice going now too. Not that that really needs a video for it, but I got some rice going. So now I got water for rice. So we're gonna go ahead and break this up. Nicely caramelized on the other side as well. And now it's time to add some of that umami. Right, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret here with this umami thing. All right, some of you might want to hate on it. That's fine. I understand. Not everybody can be as cool. Cayenne pepper. All right, we're gonna go with just a little bit of this guy. I want to make sure that it's sufficiently hot enough that the kids aren't gonna want to have any. It's not true. My kids will eat it. Cumin. We're gonna go in with a good bit of this. All right, it's gonna give us that kind of like whatever. I don't want to use the word like Mexican flavor, but Mexican flavor. You know, Spanish flavor. Yeah, whatever. Onion powder. I'm gonna go in with a good bit of this too, and I'm missing one here. I'm missing one. We're gonna come back with it. Don't worry. I got you. All right, good bit of onion powder there, and now the secret ingredient, the very, very secret ingredient, is just a tad bit of some umami, some of this MSG goodness. Now a little bit of this goes a long way. You really don't need that much. It really does flavor it well. And then just a small hit of salt on there as well. And we'll double check that later to make sure it's seasoned appropriately. Boom, my favorite. Add a little bit of color. A little bit more flavor. Gonna go heavy with the paprika. So we got a good bit of seasoning. I think this is an important thing to show because I got too many of you guys that still ask me about seasoning. Now, I'm using a good bit. I'm using a good bit of seasoning. Seasoning is one of those things that you should not be afraid of, all right? I need a battery change. So I'm gonna mix this together, change my battery, and be back. All right, so we're back here. We got our beef, and I just wanna show you, actually, let me do this. I got my peppers, onions, beef, all together here, and I just wanna show you the way that it looks, especially with, like I said, that the little bit of sear that we got going on there, the caramelized bits and pieces there. That's actually going to add a little bit of texture and or some additional flavor. And definitely my favorite way to go about it. We got our seasoning in there. We got our peppers and onions in there. Now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of liquid from some of these additional additives and the additional additives in and of themselves. I'm not going to use that whole can of jalapeno peppers because I didn't think that one through when I was adding the cayenne pepper. Shut up, Alexa. So we're just going to go in with this whole can here, including the liquid. And now we're going to bring this down on heat big time. So I'm going to keep this just on low here. And we're going to need to add a little bit more liquid here, it looks. But first and foremost, let's get these jalapenos in there. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. We'll use my coconut oil spoon. Oops. I don't know what I was doing there. Don't judge me. All right, so we'll go in with some of the jalapenos, and now I am gonna hit this with, actually I don't know yet. Let's see first how much flavor we got in this, John. Because you know, you could easily just hit with a little bit of water. If it needs a little bit of liquid, we can just put a little bit of water in there, no big deal. But let's see where the flavor's at right now, because we could always add to that flavor a little bit with a different type of liquid. Get one of those little seared bits. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's also not like overdone as far as seasoning is concerned by any stretch of imagination. So I am gonna hit this with a little bit more. I know this might sound crazy. This might sound crazy. But I'll tell you, a little bit soy sauce, just a little bit. It's gonna give it a little bit of like of a richer, deeper flavor is what you're gonna get from that. A little bit more sodium, obviously, a little bit more salt, which would be nice. And we're gonna keep that on low, and we're gonna let that simmer. I'm telling you, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be delicious. I did just come up with this off the top of my head, but I've also cooked things like this before. I've used that same seasoning blend before. The soy sauce goes into a lot of dishes for me. That's something that I always have on the side. Is there anything new within this? Nothing new. I've done this plenty of times, but it is effing delicious. All right. The veggies are something that you could change every single time. If I had broccoli in there, I could have chopped up broccoli, put broccoli in there if I wanted to. If I needed to add a little bit more fiber, you could have gone in with legitimately any veggie that you want. Just obviously, I like onions. I like the bell pepper. They also add to kind of the, whatever type of seasonings that I'm using and the kind of like Mexican style-ish dish. I know people out there that actually like eat Mexican cuisine probably hate the fact that I'm saying that, but nonetheless, multiple different ways that you could go about this. We're gonna be right back. All right, so we are done, and we're looking pretty delicious at that. So we're not just done; it looks absolutely fantastic. So this is what we're working with. Right, we got our absolutely delicious looking spicy Mexican beef meal of some sort, right? And we're gonna go over some of this white rice, which is just gonna be awesome. So we'll plate that up real quick, I guess, and go from there. I'm also gonna throw some toppings on it, so I guess we can let you in on another little secret as far as toppings are concerned. I didn't let my rice sit long enough. God damn it. I got a time crunch going on here, you know what I mean? Now again, I've told you guys this before with this kind of stuff. This to me is one of those ones where, it's already, when I'm making something like this, I'm using very, very, very low ingredients. God dang it. Some very low ingredients, filler, if you would, right? Like, jalapeno peppers, red bell peppers. Like, I don't need to worry too much about that. And I can really guesstimate that. And again, just not worry about it. And then as I'm measuring out my protein serving here, all I'm going to do is overestimate a little bit. So instead of a 200 gram serving, I'm going to go to like a 225 gram serving, knowing that I have that red bell pepper and the onion in there. And realistically, I'm not dieting right now. So I'm not like, not overly concerned with it. Obviously, when the expectations are a little bit different, if I were dieting and I wanted to see that difference on the scale, I wanted to see that difference in terms of my body fat reduction, then I'm going to be, skipping meals like this and going a little bit more simplistic. So it's just easier for me to accurately track, because I'm not going to spend all that time dieting if I'm not getting the results. I'd rather just opt for an easier to produce meal. And then now for the real ticket here, we're going to do some Cholula salsa verde. And now we're talking some serious stuff. You really can't go wrong there. So just remember that you got Cholula salsa verde here. Yeah. Come on, it's delicious. Wait, you can't really see it. There you go. Yeah. That actually looks horrible, I guess, from this angle, but you know what I mean. It's gonna be good. Come on.